Whatever. The fuck? Yo, what's good, everybody? It is April 8th, 2022. This is WETF. You have run across the I Just Got Off Work show hosted by CB. That's me, aka the Rude Educator. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can send me emails to therudeeducator@gmail.com. It is 6:36 a.m. on this fine Friday morning. We had episode 11 with this little social media experiment we like to call the I Just Got Off Work show. Again, I am your host, CB. I got a few things on my mind this morning. We're going to talk for about an hour or so, and then I'm going to get on up out of here because I got to get some rest because I got to be back at work tonight. It is the grind, and I'm on it. What y'all on? Why don't you holler at me? Leave comment down below this video or hit me up on my social media. As I already explained, man, let me just tell you that I am elated right now to know that our next Supreme Court Justice will be a relatively young black woman by the name of Ketanji Brown Jackson. She was confirmed by the Senate yesterday to be the next Supreme Court Justice. So everybody just needs to celebrate that. And I do mean everybody, not just black people need to celebrate that. I think everybody that is a true American needs to celebrate the fact that we are making some progress. It took, let me see, Clarence Thomas was confirmed in 1991. So children that were born the year that Clarence Thomas was confirmed are now old enough to have kids. A lot of them are probably married. They're in the 30s now. So that's where we're at. It is a time for celebration. It is. I don't want to take anything away from that, but me being who I am, it's always going to be that one thing or those two things that keep me from being as happy as everybody else. I mean, I want to be happy, but it's always that one or two things that keep holding me back from true bliss of the occasion. I mean, as good as it is, we still have the doubters, the haters out there. I mean, just look at this process. I mean, it was a very slim victory, if you want to call it that, of, what was it, I think like 53 to 47, something like that. So there were only 3 Republicans that actually decided to say, you know what, let's cut the BS and actually just, confirm this person that is obviously qualified. Like none of that stuff matters anymore. None of the standards and that were laid out and said, okay, this is what it takes to do this. None of that even matters anymore. Because you can, as we've seen with Miss Jackson here, you can be qualified, overly qualified for the situation, for the position, whatever the case. And there still seems to be an issue. Now, I'm not going to say that the issue has anything to do with race. I'm not going to say that. You can say that. I'm not going to say that. But whatever the thing is, whether if it's race or political affiliation or, just historical, whatever the fuck, if I could say that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what the problem is, because again, you have someone that's overly qualified for the job. Like, that's not even good business to pass up the opportunity to hire someone that you know will do a good job simply based off of these, no other word to describe it besides silly, reservations. You can't run a business like that. You can't run a business, discriminating against who you hire for anything reason than their ability to do the job. Now, if you have somebody walk into your office saying they want to be a secretary and they can't even type, then that's one thing. But if you got a person coming in and they want to be, your accountant, and they know Excel backwards and forwards, they are mathematical genius. They can calculate big ass numbers in their head and handle your business, remarkably. They're trustworthy. All the things that you could ever want in an accountant, they're that. But you decide not to hire this person because you don't like the color of their hair, or they got too many face piercings or face tattoos, or there's something about them that you just don't like. So you decide to hire this other person that they fit your norms. They fit what you think an accountant should look like, but they can't actually do the job of accounting. You overlook the important part of why you would hire this person. And that's why we have a lot of these situations today where, especially during the past administration, where you had people in jobs that just did not belong. And there's always been a certain amount of cronyism in politics. That's kind of the point. But in positions where things matter, such as Supreme Court justice, I don't think that anything but actual job qualifications should be considered, seeing as how that's how a lot of the things that we do in this country get decided is by the highest court in the land. Like, you can appeal in lower courts and get it into, higher courts and all that stuff, but eventually you end up in the Supreme Court. You want those people to kind of be on the ball. At least in my opinion, you should. But I mean, what do I know? I'm just a dude with a mic and a YouTube channel. At the end of the day, that's all I am. So, take it or leave it. But some of these people are going to have to come up off of it. They're getting old anyway. McConnell and Rand Paul, they getting old. They're going to get pushed out the way regardless. Not that they don't have young, dumbass conservatives to take their place. Like the one dude they were talking about last week or whatever, was talking about how he's getting invited to orgies and shit. But here's the thing. What would make you think that that's appropriate fodder for the media anyway? As if especially if you're on their side, this is part of their problem. Is that they've had to scrape the bottom of the barrel so far as intelligence is concerned just to get these people on their side. So when you have like this genetically manipulated and not by not in the laboratory manipulated, but you manipulate genetics when you appeal to a certain mind state. So that's what I mean by manipulating genetics. So they've manipulated the genetics of their political party to end up with dummies. They got a bunch of dummies, and the dummies don't know any better than to expose the nonsense that goes on. They don't even have sense enough to keep their mouth shut. That's where they're at right now. They're at the point where any old dummy will do, and the result of that is any old dummy will say whatever they feel like saying. It's not just a dude talking about the orgies and stuff that he was invited to either. These are people that just basically don't know when to shut the fuck up. And if you don't know when to talk or what to say when you talk, you will be in bad shape. And take it from me. I know when. Now I know. Used to not know when to say things and when not to say things, and now I know when it's appropriate to say certain things and when it's not. When it can help you to say certain things, and when it doesn't. A term that has become popular is read the room. You got to know who you're dealing with. You got to know what you're dealing with. Everybody not able to deal with high explosives on that level, so they end up blowing themselves up. You got to be careful with what you say. And that doesn't mean not say what's on your mind. That means know when to say it. Know when the people that you're saying it to or the situation that you're speaking of is going to help you and when it's going to rile people up against you. Don't be afraid to speak, but know what you're saying and know the situation that you're saying it in. See, this is why you don't necessarily need to make mistakes to learn from a mistake. Watch other people and what they do and apply it to where you're at. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to do the same thing. Doesn't necessarily mean that your goals are aligned in any way. But you want to be able to watch another situation. You don't want every lesson that you learn to be from a mistake that you made. Learn lessons from other people's mistakes, even if you don't agree with their viewpoint. You know, because it's a lot of dummies out here. And if you're smart enough to learn from a dummy, what was that campaign they had for the seatbelts? You can learn a lot from a dummy. That's what I'm talking about. You don't necessarily have to be dumb in order to get smart. It helps, but you don't necessarily have to go all the way through that route. Like I told y'all to sell drugs. Nah. But hey, it's all good. Speaking of Ketanji Jackson Brown, we got footage from I promised y'all footage from the Maxwell concert. that me and my lovely wife attended last night. It was a lot of people came out to see Joe, Anthony Hamilton, and Maxwell perform out of Gamebridge. Shout out to Gamebridge Fieldhouse for being, a pretty decent venue for a number of shows. Of course, the Pacers play there. Used to be called Bankers Life, used to be called Conseco. But now it's called Gamebridge. And, of course, you know that anytime a stadium or whatever changes names, there's a lot of money involved. Gamebridge is some kind of tech company. Did a little research on them. They deal with financials and all that good stuff. So if you looking for something to invest in, you might want to look them up. Yeah, so the footage, he decided to take a moment to shout it, to speak to the situation. And y'all can check that out right now. Hold on.
Let's take a moment and celebrate the first block. Jackson, baby. Black women stand up, up. Yes.
Yeah, so that was Maxwell doing his thing. Like shout out to Maxwell's jacket, man. He had the mirrors on his jacket. He was like his own little disco ball out there. And yeah, he took time to mention what was going on, and I think that what I'm saying. I think that whenever you get the first black anything, especially on that level, it kind of gives hope to everybody else, because it's such a thing for us to be let in and allowed to participate in some of these things. It's still a big deal to us. So we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate Kamala Harris. We still celebrate Barack Obama. We're gonna continue to celebrate whenever something like this happens, because we still not where we want to be, and until we are, which it's gonna take a long time for that to happen. So we're gonna keep celebrating these small victories, and we celebrate. The way we celebrate is always gonna be to the utmost. And it's funny because after leaving the venue last night, it wasn't. I mean, it was later, and I know. I know we've been dealing with a whole medical crisis for the last 2 years, so I get that. But after the show was over, we wanted to go have a little something to eat, and there was no choices for us at that point. Now, keep in mind, we left the show a little early, so it was before 11 o'clock when we got out, and there was nobody within the area there was nowhere for us to go eat. Everybody was shutting down, and it made me ask a couple of questions to myself, because again, this is the I Just Got Off Work show, hosted by me, CB, aka the Rude Educator. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can even send me emails to therudeeducator@gmail.com. But this is what I'm saying. Do businesses close up early because it's the day of the week? Or do they close up early sometimes when they know that it's an event that will attract certain kind of people? Now, again, the concert consisted of Joe, Anthony Hamilton, and Maxwell. 3 artists who, if you my age, which I'm 44 years old, born in 1978, and, old enough, got, a couple kids, old enough to have a couple grandkids, ain't got nothing yet, knock on wood. But, is it normal for them to shut things down early on a Thursday night? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't go out that much anymore. I don't know what the standard is, especially, again, like I said, we've been dealing with a medical crisis for 2 years where everything had to shut down. People were quarantined. It was better to be apart than to be together. I get all of that. But we celebrated my wife's birthday last night. We went to go and have a little taste of something before we headed home. My wife had her heart set on some wings and, and things. Maybe have a beer or something after the fact. A little glass of wine with the meal. But we were turned away and told that tonight we're closing early because we've been closing early on Thursdays because of the pandemic. Is what it said. I don't know. I may be overreacting. I may be, taking things the wrong way in my feelings, whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't know. The guy that they sent, or they had standing by the door to tell people that, he was ever so gracious and telling us about who else may be open. They were not. They were not open. So again, like I said, I'm sure I'm overreacting just because I just felt some kind of way because my wife didn't get her wings. I didn't get what I wanted, which is usually a hamburger. But that doesn't matter. None of that matters. And I'm just, again, I'm just a dude with a mic and a YouTube channel expressing these things. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily the truth. Just thought I would speak on that because it was on my mind. So, shout out to all the businesses that are still open after the pandemic, especially the smaller businesses, not the chains, because y'all flourished, but I'm talking about the smaller businesses that had to struggle through the pandemic, survived, and are now thriving again now that things are starting to open back up. That's another thing. Are we still in a pandemic? I believe we are. I believe that we are still officially in what's called a pandemic because of the nature of the disease and the number of people that are still suffering. People stop talking about it. Doesn't necessarily mean that we are in the clear. So, but I want to know what y'all think, man. Hit me up. I'll be really starved for interaction from y'all. And I don't mean hit me up and tell me like, oh, hey, Chuck, you're doing a great job with the show. Yeah, I know. We on episode 11. The show's going great. I'm talking about holla at me, though. Like, tell me what's on your mind. That's what I want to know. I obviously am very well aware what's on my mind, but I want to know what's on yours. So hit me up, Instagram, Twitter, Gmail, video comments. I think you can leave comments to the page. All of that, you know. Tell me what's on your mind. I want to hear about it. It is 7:01 a.m. on this beautiful Friday morning, April 8th. This is WETF. We are on the I Just Got Off Work show, hosted by me, CB, aka The Rude Educator. What's next, man? Like, I did get a chance to watch Abbott Elementary. It's getting cuter and cuter by the day, right? Cuter and cuter. But the episode, first of all, the episode with the desking, that was hilarious. The social media trends keep popping up, and kids are finding new ways to annoy their teachers. See, it was funny at first because when the teachers started doing TikToks, like everybody thought it was a game. Everybody thought things were sweet. But now the kids are kind of getting their revenge with the, smack my teacher challenge and some of these challenges. But the teachers are kind of on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like middle-aged people are getting. Well, we've been tech savvy, but these kids, they think that they know everything. So you gotta outsmart them. You gotta show them that you're smarter than them every once in a while, and push it to the limit. So yeah, that's where we at. Hey, I'm gonna take a break real quick because I gotta get some water and some things. So I'm gonna leave y'all to cool out for a second. And hey, we are looking for writers, actors, people to host, people to go out and do on-the-spot segments, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in working with, for WETF, hit me up. I think you know how to do so. Instagram, Twitter, Gmail, The Rude Educator. You ain't got to guess. But, yeah, hit me up. We're going to get some things done. But I'll be right back. All right, we back. So, sports fans, how y'all feel about this? The as opening days across the nation are being played in baseball. I am very sorry to say to some of you old school baseball heads that the designated hitter has officially become a thing league wide in baseball. So looks like the American League won after all. We have fought long and hard this battle to get pitchers out of the batter's box and have finally become victorious. So, designated hitter is now being used in the National League, taking away baseball purists' last hope of redemption. I thought it was great when I saw that announcement that the designated hitter is now, just how you play baseball and professionals on a professional level. I don't think it takes away from the game at all. I think that it's exciting for like maybe an older slugger to just be a batter, and that these pitchers can save their energy or what have you for the mound, and not have to worry about taking a terrible at bat, which is usually the case for most pitchers. My meme board is slow as hell. That's one of the things that definitely need to get upgraded up in here. Is my meme board. There's what was the other thing? Talked about Judge Jackson. We talked about the DH. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So again, I'm gonna be on vacation next week. So we may put a pause on the daily show just to regroup, get some things together, because I want this to be not just educational but also entertaining. And so we're gonna work on some of those things, and maybe get some other players, put some plans together, and then come back after a week and hit you hard with some other things. But be on the lookout for a brief here and there just to explain what the progress is and where we get things together. The studio is looking good, to be honest. The studio is looking quite nice. Got a couple of new toys in here, and got a couple other things that I will be revealing here in the near future. But make sure you go cop some merch. Not because, again, like I said, a lot of things that cost, just because I know I designed it, but I think it's fly. I mean, I think some of these things are fly, and I wouldn't want you to be here supporting me and not being in on the new fly shit. So make sure you pick up some merch. The link is down up underneath the video. It's on the page. Stringlabs.com/WETF. We out here, baby. Hey, shout out to everybody who been supporting the channel. Shout out to everybody who been saying what's up. I appreciate that. We'll see y'all on the other side. And Bill, before I go, I gotta hit you off one more time with who I am, which is CB, aka the Rude Educator. Hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter, send me an email on Gmail at the Rude Educator. This is WETF, the I Just Got Off Work show. It is 7:11, and we out of here. I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.